Hey guys, welcome back to Modbargains and Mod Auto for another episode of Know Your Mods. I'm your host, co-founder and CEO, Mike Brown. Today we're going to talk about the HRE FlowForm FF15 wheel, another popular wheel from the HRE FlowForm line, the second wheel that they actually introduced following the FF01. I'm going to walk you through all the benefits and features of this wheel and explain to you why so many of our customers here at Modbargains choose this wheel for their own personal cars. So let me tell you about HRE wheels, where they came from, who they are, what they stand for, and why they're one of the most, if not the most, respected wheel company in the industry. So HRE, some people say, what does that stand for? There's not an actual acronym definition for it, but to me, when I think of HRE, I think of highly respected engineering. And I'm not putting that out there as their name, but when I think of it and how I explain it to customers, they're an engineering company that makes wheels. And the FF15 and the FlowForm line is another example of that. So they're most known for making rather expensive monoblock and three-piece forged wheels that are ranging in cost from like $4,000 up to $12,000, $15,000 for a set. About 2 or 3 years ago, they came out with their FlowForm line, and that was essentially to take the same quality and manufacturing and brand and satisfaction that they deliver on their expensive forged wheels, bring the cost down into a wheel manufacturing process that they can still endorse with their name, but it makes it a little bit more accessible for consumers that are daily driving cars and aren't necessarily driving like super exotic vehicles like Ferraris and Lamborghinis. All right, so the FlowForm FF15 wheel is a FlowForm wheel, hence the name. What does that mean? So we talked about how HRE's roots are in full forged wheels made out of solid pieces of aluminum, and then you put onto a CNC machine, and the spokes are then cut out of a solid thing of aluminum, and you then basically make a wheel by using the CNC. FlowForm is a little bit different. Basically, the face of the wheel is poured into a mold using low pressure casting, and then the barrel of the wheel is rolled, which is what the flow forming means. The rolling process does a few things. It makes the wheel lighter weight, which has a lot of benefits in terms of faster track times, better miles per gallon on the street, less stress on the vehicle. If you're putting like aftermarket wheels on it that are super heavy, it can actually cause damage to the vehicle long term. Telltale sign of a FlowForm wheel are when you look at the barrels, you can actually see these little grooves and ridges that as I'm running my hand over, it feels a lot different than on a gravity cast wheel, which doesn't have that type of feel to it. Now, the rolling process makes the wheel barrel thinner, but it makes it denser or has less imperfections in it, no pockets. And that thinner, less material at a higher quality is what gives it the strength and the lightweight that FlowForm is known for. Meanwhile, because they're making these in large production, it doesn't have the same type of cost in terms of producing them. And that is why the price point can come down to a more affordable level per set, which is great for all of us as car enthusiasts, because then you can have a little bit more money to apply to your performance modifications, suspension modifications, everything else that you have planned for the vehicle. So the FF15 gets its wheel name from the number of spokes on the wheel. So if you were to count these, there would be 15 spokes. I like to refer to this as kind of a multi-spoke wheel, but it's not quite like those old school multi-spoke wheels where it's like almost 30 of them. So it's kind of in between that. It's a full face mesh design with 15 spokes. So when I first looked at this wheel, I thought because of the number of spokes, it might be a little bit on the heavier side. This wheel is actually the lightest wheel in the FlowForm line as we're recording this video. It's about 10% lighter for the same size and offset compared to the FF01. That's because these spokes, although there's a lot of them, they're very thin. There's not a lot of material as you go through it, and it even really tapers towards the edge of the wheel. But because there's so many spokes, you can count on this wheel continuing to maintain the strength and the integrity of the wheel. So the HRE FlowForm FF15 comes in silver and black out of the box. Two amazingly brilliant and high-depth finishes that make any car look great. These are two of the most amazing out-of-the-box finishes that I've seen in my career selling wheels. The liquid silver and the tarmac black, they both have a lot of depth. They've got contrast in different lighting situations. They really turn heads. If you want a custom finish for your car, HRE does provide custom finishes. One thing about HRE and their finishes is that they insist, they require that they do them. So we cannot do the custom finish here at our location. HRE, because they want to control how the wheel is prepped, how it's powder coated and how it's baked during powder coating to maintain structural integrity, as well as to really represent the brand that they have built up over the years. They only do their own custom finishes at their own manufacturing center in San Diego. So what colors can it come in? There's a lot of them. There's a great white, there's IPA, which is my favorite because HRE is based in San Diego, which is the craft beer capital of the world. It also comes in fog, which is kind of like a matte gunmetal. So you name it, they can really put a custom finish together. It's gonna be super high quality, super beautiful, just like the actual wheel itself. HRE has, in my opinion, the best out-of-the-box finish on a wheel out of any of the manufacturers that I've seen, because they put so much attention to detail. And what I mean by that is there's going to be really no outgassing or pitting or any orange peel or anything like that. HRE is just that one notch above on the mass-produced out-of-the-box wheels that I've always appreciated, because I know that when I ship these out or when I install them for a local customer, the finish is the last thing that I'm worried about quality controlling, because it's always going to be great. So if you're ready to get a set of HRE FlowForm FF15 wheels for your own ride, give us a call, live chat us, or walk into our physical store here at Modbargains in Southern California. We've got plenty of modification experts standing by, excited to help you out to get you a perfect set of wheels and tires for your own vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media, and stay in touch with us through our blog, our email newsletter, and all the other ways that we can continue to educate you about what the best modifications for your vehicle are. Don't forget to share this video as well with your friends that might learn a thing or two by watching this. And as always, we'll see you next time here for the next episode of Know Your Mods.